how do you feel? There's a lot of opinions about TSM and whether or not Magnus can really be the thing that puts TSM back in playoff territory. But you're going up against this monster in Dignitas. Capped off their world championship run with one of the best series we've ever seen in Rocket League. And personally, for me, Achieves, I don't think that's going to stop.
I think you're absolutely right. I am still on the Dignitas train. After all the things we saw at LAN, it was quite a run to go on from the playoffs to that point, and then they sold me. Because before then, I was just like, nah, man, Dignitas is not it. So I am all aboard the Dignitas train. I'm not sold about the Magnus move. To be fair, I can understand why you'd make it, if you lose a player like Outfit. You do have comfortability, you've got all the method history behind Magnus and Mets teaming back up for that. So, I think they made a great point on the desk. Remco is not the guy you want shooting the ball, and I think that they've lost a huge aspect of the offense.
Yeah.
So maybe during the offseason, they've totally revamped it, and it's a completely new approach, and someone else will be in charge of that. But you have to see it work before you can bet on it, especially considering how poor last season was.
I think we're definitely going to get a good litmus test here against Dignitas for all the reasons that we mentioned. I mean, Yukio in particular, who had scored a total of 8 goals in league play, total.
Until
it was like week 4 and 5 is when he actually started to work out the shooting issues.
Yeah.
His accuracy got a lot better. Astral was just a monster all season. And these guys, they're both young guys, still sort of new to the RLCS. Yukio not so much anymore. But Violent Panda really is the glue that puts them all together.
Yeah.
He's the conductor on the pitch. He is, to me, Violent Panda is the best passer in Rocket League.
the mastermind.
The mastermind.
He is the pharaoh.
I would say the maestro, but he's not in the RLCS. No, I would say Violent Panda is the maestro, but that name is taken. Anyways, we're going to get game 1 underway. And for me, for TSM, it's, they get caught on defense, on extended stays on defense so much for so long. And so, can you get some offensive pressure at all here? Metanaris coming in front, but I mean, that was kind of awkward. It looked like Magnus wanted to try to move forward for Mets getting the bump.
And I think you bring up an interesting point, is does TSM have the mechanical ability in any of their players to really be that takeover, command the game force that you need in a lot of teams these days? Pretty much everyone has a playmaker that can beat multiple people and get the ball going the other way.
And Metanaris has been that player for teams. Here's a good pass from VP to Astral. And Dignitas will kick things off with a goal.
He started off with some pretty passing. Astral, that's a great skim to the right, back the other way to beat the last guy. It was a risky challenge to go for on TSM's side, but if you steal that ball away, you've got an easy 2-on-1 back the other way. There is a real risk-reward aspect to going for that challenge, and unfortunately, the spacing was just off.
And to me, I like TSM taking those risks because it feels like in previous seasons, they weren't willing to take any risks, and that's what killed them. Astral almost puts the ball in himself. Obviously, risk management is a big portion of how you approach an offensive attack and when and how you challenge the ball. This was almost in, but Astral picks up another save. Remco pass midfield to Magnus, and he can't find the corner. It's way wide, and Dignitas retain the lead.
I am liking TSM. They're not really getting stuck in their own half. It is definitely a neutral battleground in the middle, and that helped with a miss from Violent Panda. Might be just what they needed. Actually make it 2 from Yukio, and Astral really needs to make sure that his team has time to get set back here.
Yeah, it's been awkward a couple of times for Dignitas on the backboard. Metanaris makes a good touch, but won't be able to get back to that one. Yukio, nothing for him either. It's TSM having to play some defense. Dignitas running around collecting the boosts. Well, Remco gets bumped by Metanaris. It actually took him off the challenge. Luckily, Magnus is there to kill it back to midfield. But still, TSM are struggling to win battles in midfield right now, and that almost dunked into the net. Still Dignitas' ball, but Remco will pick it up.
Lovely approach from Violent Panda, but well defended from Remco on the backboard. There was a lot of opportunity to just muscle that one home. And Dignitas definitely doing their best to keep up all that great passing that they were able to demonstrate. Stretch from Remco and can't reach it.
Yeah, just a little high. Maybe he was expecting Yukio to get the ball, but Yukio ran out of boost. Still, though, managed pretty well by TSM so far. They've been kind of punting the ball against the backboard a couple of times, but Dignitas has been giving them reason to.
Great bump.
And that shot is blocked by Magnus. Still looking to get out. Pass over to Remco. Remco had the space for it. He did find the shot, but right into two Dignitas cars.
Nice.
Magnus wins the first touch. Metzenaris back over to Magnus maybe, but he's got no boost. Remco covering the angle and closing it down. TSM not able to find the net, not really able to find a good shot. And here comes Dignitas. Violent Panda pop up high from Astral. Yukio's there, but nothing here for Dig just yet.
Remco missing that boost on his own corner. Let Yukio steal that one away, and not sure how much real bite this push is going to have from TSM. Remco still able to go for it, but way under it. Nice dribble off the wall from Astral there to get that one through the midfield line, but still, you know, we're sitting here talking about how tough it is for TSM to get the ball going offensively, and a push from Astral, follow through from Violent Panda, but to be fair, Dignitas, they might have just got a couple of chances right there, but it's not like they've been, you know, lighting up the quality scoring opportunities either.
Not at all. I mean, TSM were good on defense for a while. The problem is they could never break out. They were always on defense. And then that just led to panic. Eventually you run out of boosts and you get scored on. We saw that time and again last season with TSM. But this time, Dignitas have not been able to find consistent pressure on defense. It's really been back and forth.
It's these long booming clears
yeah.
Dignitas throwing consistently down the other end, trying to chase it all the way down. And to TSM's credit, they've done a nice job being ready to receive a lot of those.
Another shot blocked, this time by Yukio. Violent Panda got chipped out of the way. Metzenaris has Remco on the wing, but just could not find anything. And it'll be Dignitas' ball with 20 seconds remaining, despite not being able to put a ton of pressure on TSM. They have done well enough. Here's Remco, wants one more chance for TSM, far side. Metzenaris, who ends up getting a little too many touches on the ball. Demo onto Dig, back to Magnus, looking for Remco, cut off, and Metzenaris has to turn his car around for one more go. Right in his face are Dignitas. Remco, one more pass over to Magnus. He's got Metzenaris, and right there in midair is Violent Panda. Still a touch up high, denied again by Astral. Metzenaris couldn't find the ball, and Dignitas will take game one.
I think this is one of the rare instances where you're going to see the post-game stats come up, and it's going to tell you exactly what happened in this game. I mean, yeah, Dignitas didn't light up the shots on target exactly. You know, they got 7, but there was a fair amount of defense from TSM. The shooting accuracy wasn't always there from Dignitas, and overall, the general level of pressure favors Dignitas, and it took one great passing play at the start of the game to get him onto the board. But other than that, I mean, TSM held their own pretty well.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and I love the passing, even if it was kind of deeper out. Dignitas were giving you the looks that forced you to move far and long. Those booming clears were just boomers in response for TSM, but even when they got towards midfield, they were looking for each other in space.
And you can see why. I mean, TSM controls a bit more of that pressure. They tended to win a lot of those far corner boosts and the midfield boosts, so it just leads to more general pressure across when you are able to sustain a higher level of boost in your opposition.
So for TSM, I mean, what is the move here? Even though they were able to possess a couple of times, they still only generated 3 shots on net, so they still can't find quality opportunities consistently.
And that goes back to what we were talking about right at the start of the game. You know, do they have that one player that if they get the ball, like you give the ball to Chaussette on reciprocity, right? He's going to make someone miss in the midfield and get it going the other way. You get the ball to Scrub Killer on Mouse Sports. Something is going to happen that is going to get that ball through somebody. They have one player who can always be relied upon to make a big play and get the offense a jump start.
Remco gets a look at this after that bump from Magnus on the kickoff. Magnus gets another touch. Metzenaris had the net and he beans it.
To be fair, I don't think he was actually expecting Magnus to win that ball, and it came as just as much of a shock to him as it did to us.
Well, that one was sailing towards the net, but now Violent Panda dribble, tried to play it low, got the demo, popped up. It's going to be Astral. Astral to Yukio, finding the pass off the backboard. He couldn't find the touch, and Violent Panda will punish. Dignitas have the lead.
They had a chance to clear the ball here for TSM. That's a great idea from Astral to pass down to Yukio, but it's that shot. I really think Yukio needed to be the one to take that shot, because I think that really did throw TSM off their rhythm, but throwing it back up on the wall gave Remco a chance at it, and unfortunately he didn't come away with it.
That's just what Dignitas love to do, right? And they're so good at passing the ball, especially on offense. Like Astral, that was so covered. Like I did not think he was getting that touch to Yukio when he went up for it. But the guy continues to impress every time he's on the pitch.
The vision, which is a sign of real player development when you think about it. Because, you know, you think, and also I think, you know, Astral's the type of guy that goes for the double tap, slap it off the wall and go and punch that in yourself. But to lay it down for a teammate like that is just, you know, the continuation of his progression as a player. You know, the vision increases, your options become more varied, and you become a more dangerous asset to your team.
TSM win a couple of touches. Remco's up for this shot, but ends up hitting it on his undercarriage, and it pops off the backboard. Astral, pops it straight down. And it's even just the small feints from Astral that also just make you hesitate for even a quarter of a second, and it's always the difference. But they do get the ball back, but this has pretty much been the progression for TSM. Metsunaris pops it over, and it's taken away by Violent Panda. Astral, a great catch, has the flip reset, immediately tried to flip into it. Not enough power.
Oh, nice. Great little feint by Remco there to let that one keep rolling, but TSM hang on to it. Out into the corner, well defended by Astral. And again, Dignitas continuing that long, clear strategy. Punch it up the field, chase it down, and see what happens. It especially helps when Meta doesn't make the touch, and now they get to sit here on the offensive third.
This one up high again, Violent Panda. Nothing there for Dig, but they're just controlling. Look, he's on the far side. That's a good shot off the crossbar and in on the pass from Yukio. Dignitas feeling it.
For the second time today, Violent Panda in this game catches a pass from Yukio and a beautiful cross across the middle and an excellent shot to the opposite post. I mean, that's just, if you think about what that looks like to defense, it's just the zigzag of the camera movement is going to make that play tough to follow in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dig, ever since that first passing play, it's like, all right, we're just going to pass all over the place here on offense. And TSM, I feel like they are feeling that swingy cam, if you will, with just being stuck on their own back wall. Metsunaris, his failed launch on the previous possession that eventually led to a goal. And TSM getting situations like this where it's like, okay, Remco picks up the goal for TSM, and they score. This time they actually do capitalize.
Great bit of push here. Magnus able to beat out one, back into the middle. It's a real stretch for Yukio, but he doesn't make a good read on the ball, and that could be just because he didn't have a lot of boost to go with, and he just tried to get up and chase it down as quick as possible. But I think a lack of boost there means Yukio just didn't get the optimal launch, and the follow-through from Remco came through.
So TSM do pull within one in game two. But the opportunities have been few and far between. You think back to the earlier attempted shot from Metsunaris at the start of game two that he ended up missing. Metsunaris picks this up off the side wall. Great challenge from Yukio and a wonderful approach.
Those are the tough defensive stands that are invaluable to a team. Strong touches over your shoulder, up above the goal line are so dangerous. Magnus with a great catch and a nice reaction from Violent Panda. And now TSM starting to get things moving. Nice little bit of touch and go, but unfortunately the boost doesn't favor them. And they get one extra pass in there that ends up giving away possession.
Magnus does pick this up. Looking for Remco downfield. He has the shot. Remco scores twice. Trying to prove Gibbs wrong. It's a tie game.
He's proven me wrong. You know, I'm not sure if I wanted Remco to be the guy, you know, taking these shots on net, but when it's delivered in such a beautiful way, I mean, that's on the nose, on the run, and boy, did he smash that.
And that's a couple passes for Magnus now. He's really finding his teammates in space. He's playing it away from the opposition. Like, I like what I'm seeing from Magnus in this series so far. Can it continue? Oh, to commit for TSM. Now playing on his own back wall, Remco. Going to be cut off by Yukio here. The boost situation for Yukio. Going to have to wait here in midfield, try to manage. They do have to fall back here. Astral, not the best touch. Almost punished, but Yukio there for the save. Violent Panda up quickly. Back to Astral in midfield. Dignitas. Nothing just yet here against TSM. Time ticking away in regulation. What looked like Dignitas' game, it actually might be TSM, but Magnus couldn't get a powerful enough shot. Another one blocked by Yukio. Metanaris wants to cut this out. Gets another touch. He had Magnus available. I'm not sure Violent Panda was going to get to that ball, and he gets up for the touch out, giving TSM another shot. No. Killed by Astral. And off the crossbar. Metanaris has the save. We got OT.
It's a tight one. Both teams have a couple of nice looks at the net there at the end of regulation. A nice job from Violent Panda pushing Magnus off that ball. If Magnus went for it off the kickoff, he was going to get bumped out of the way, and that means Dignitas gets the first opportunity here. But unfortunately, can't get the job done to start it off.
Oh, here's Remco. He beat Violent Panda. Astral pops this up, but it's still TSM ball. Metanaris high off on the rebound, and he can't save it, so Metanaris picks up the win for TSM.
Nice bit of shooting here. Remco actually pulled out 2 defenders, and Metza went off the ceiling, and just Violent Panda couldn't get the bounce right. And it just went right under him and into the net, and you think, I mean, what are you going to do about that if you're Dignitas? I mean, the shot from Remco was good enough to beat 2 defenders, and the next one comes at you from up in the ceiling. I mean, you're really hoping Violent Panda just makes the perfect read, but nice follow-up from Metza to secure game 2.
Absolutely, and to me, it was Magnus. Magnus getting the 2 assists on Remco's goals, and both of those plays, that last pass to Remco that he had that was right on his nose. Perfect. Remco had a perfect shot on it as well. So we want to know how Magnus was going to fit into this TSM roster. Game 1 was definitely shaky, but there was stuff to build on there. You liked what you saw out of TSM.
7 shots.
Yeah, and
Remco.
Now they tie the series up.
So I mean, I
like it.
I have to be, completely honest. I do think I have to eat my words a little bit here. I was not particularly confident.
I gave them an F. Gibbs gave them an L. So.
I was not particularly confident in having Remco to be the guy to shoot the ball.
Yes.
Because that goes all the way back to when they had iIgnite. iIgnite was the guy in charge. You wanted him to shoot the ball. And if he wasn't shooting well, then Remco needed to be the guy to pick up the slack. And a lot of times that never came through. And so from that point on, it's always been like, I'm not sure if Remco's the put-away guy for this team. And thankfully they picked up Alpha, and he became that guy. So then you get 3 players, Metza and Magnus, and I'm still just sitting here thinking, man, none of these guys are put-away guys. And the fact they're giving Remco 7 shots and turns 2 of them in,
maybe the key,
he's doing good.
Maybe the key is that you don't pick up a flashy player who you try to feed the ball for TSM. Because as you've just astutely put, Achieves, iIgnite and Alpha 54 haven't worked out.
I mean, Alpha worked out, but
Alpha did not. I would say Alpha did not work.
He went other places.
He went other places. But TSM still finished bottom half of the league.
One man does not a team make.
But he does make 33% of it. I know, I did the math. Either way, Dignitas trying to find their first goal in game 3. And Astral tried to punch that across, but they're going to have to play from their own end again.
Poor bit of passing from Violent Panda to break out of their own half. Good takeaway from Magnus in the midfield, but that's a nice laydown. Violent Panda with a chance.
Oh, and the rebound picked up by Magnus. Well done again. It does drop down, but Metz is there. Oh, Metz couldn't find a touch off that hit from Violent Panda. Double commit by TSM on the back wall. Violent Panda's shot is off the crossbar, but Remco picks it up on the rebound. And he kills the momentum Yukio would have going around the corner. Now here's Metanaris. Taken away for now by Astral, but here's Magnus. Quick wave dash to get back up to the ball. Remco has a look at it now. He wins this touch. A little bit of boost, but he's getting chipped on his way out. TSM a little bit of space and starting to control the pitch.
And TSM really having to work on the ball control here. They've spent a lot of time at low boost, and it just means they're really trying to take care of these touches to make sure that if they end up giving away possession, that they have the time to recover, because this might be the first time that they've really had the ability to get themselves ready, take away the boost on the opposite side there, with Magnus stealing that away, and I feel like they got a pretty good line set up here.
Cut off by Remco for now, Violent Panda. It's been really good stops on defense from TSM. Astral to the far corner, but nothing here for Dignitas. They are not finding those passing lanes they were having success with earlier in the series in the first half of Game 3.
Here's the opportunity to get it going.
A 1-2-3, but blocked by Metsonaris. Still, Astral passed the Violent Panda, but again, had to fight off the defender. Ended up pitching it wide. Another attempted pass, but it's not even going to be close. Quick transition. Magnus maybe wanting Mets to keep going with him there. TSM off the start from their own back wall. Again, Dignitas really trying to just carry for as long as possible, and then, pass out to mid. Not the best for TSM there. They have a little bit of space. That's going to be Dignitas' ball with Astral.
Oh, what a beautiful pass.
And Violent Panda tried to catch it. It popped up a little too far forward with no boosts. Ooh. He wanted that quick, powerful touch. Yukio trying to dance around him. Astral, nothing.
Did you see how fast Astral went for that ball?
He's a speedy boy. He's going to take this one from his own corner. Close to him. He'll have Mets beat. He's still carrying the ball, but Remco on the launch. Back over to Metsonaris. You like what you see on defense from TSM? There's been some threats from Dignitas, but the rotations have been solid, and they've won the 50s. I think that's the big thing for TSM. Game 1, they weren't winning anything in midfield against Dignitas. Another save, but some of these shots are starting to come in. So still not out of the woods, obviously.
Dignitas trying to do a better job of making sure some of those long clears end up in their teammates' hands instead of in space. Yukio's got to track this one down, but way over his head.
The light touch, Metsonaris losing the 50 against Astral.
He let that one go on purpose so he could go take away that midfield boost. And a nice cutoff from Magnus.
Oh, and Astral getting dunked by Magnus. Nothing from Magnus there, but Metsonaris right on top of it. The rotation on offense, not too aggressive from TSM, really trying to cover as many options as possible, not trying to force an issue where you don't need to. Keep that ball secured in front. They've done so far. They haven't been able to score just yet. They've got to be careful on this transition against Dignitas. Violent Panda back to Yukio. The shot will be blocked by Remco. Remco moving forward. Ready for that next touch. Violent Panda with boost in hand. We'll carry it back out to the opposite side of the pitch. Remco's really done a good job keeping in front of a lot of these challenges and stopping the ball, but Dignitas, Yukio tried to use that extra jump for speed on the shot. He couldn't find it. Remco pops this up. Metsonaris is there. It's blocked by Astral.
Man, definitely get your heart stopped if you're a Dignitas fan, and you got to give TSM credit. I came in here thinking, you're going to see that Season 8 World Finals Dignitas come out here and punch him right in the mouth.
I think you're seeing what the pros are seeing. We saw the pro power rankings that had TSM as a playoff team. And after last season, you were really doubting that. But I think you're starting to see that here against Dignitas.
Resilience, no doubt, against a lot of great passing from Dignitas. And some sturdy defensive stance.
Magnus pops it up. Remco's on the far side. Shot is good, and TSM take a 2-game lead in the series.
Great play here. Violent Panda collects the boost, but is a little too slow to go up to it. Yukio doesn't know that there's someone lurking, but knows the shot's coming. And Remco turns another one in. And a big one, as TSM will now have a 2-1 lead.
3 goals for Remco in this series. And like you said, Achieves, he is apparently the front man right now.
I gotta eat my words. He's getting it done on both sides of the ball.
But you know who assisted him on that shot?
Is it Magnus again?
Magnus again. 3 assists in this series for him.
Okay.
It's working, man.
Ball's in your court, Dignitas. The passing's not working. TSM's able to sniff them out.
They feel more comfortable. Like, that's the thing watching TSM last season, is they looked so uncomfortable on the pitch. The communication, it was obvious they weren't talking. They were double committing all over the place. They're like, mechanically, they were awful. It was the worst mechanically I think I've ever seen Metsonaris and Remco. And I just, to me, it just came from a lack of faith in each other on the pitch. And it feels like that's gone.
Now,
that is gone so far in this series.
Well, do you feel like that goes back to the previous, time spent as a team that Metza and Magnus have had, and they've had to just be like, okay, here's how we need to do this because here's what gave us success?
I mean, that absolutely plays into it. It's absolutely in part to that, I think.
The curious thing I want to know is, did Magnus and Metza be like, all right, Remco, here's how we're doing things? or was it Remco and Metza like, this is how it works around here now? That's what I'm curious about.
Maybe they came together, had a wonderful kumbaya, and, fused their brains together in a Zen session, and they were like, we are one unit now.
They do it good.
We are together, we are TSM.
Now, to be fair, you would like to see TSM sniff out a few more of the dangerous passing opportunities, because Dignitas, if they keep getting those chances, they will find their way into the back of the net eventually. Yep. But, if the shooting isn't perfect for Dignitas, they haven't scored many goals. They've put in, 3 total now?
Yeah.
Across 3 games. And I kind of expected this to be a team that, with relative ease, could put up almost, without a doubt, 2 goals per game on average at the end of the season.
I mean,
I'm expecting Dignitas to, by season's end, be in the top, percentile of offensive production.
Yeah.
And to have them be shut down so effectively by a new team just surprises me.
And it's like game 2, at the end of game 2, you had said, a product of just having higher boost totals over the course of the game for Dignitas, or for TSM, excuse me, was really a factor in them just being able to control past midfield. And I think that was the same story here. I mean, they were doing a good job controlling the corners, forcing Dignitas to always have to rotate the whole way back.
Yeah.
Midfield boosts were never available for Dignitas in the second half of that game when TSM were really starting to beat them to the ball. And if you're at home watching, watch midfield and see who's grabbing those boosts, and that will probably determine who wins game 4 here.
It is true, because boost control is always, the first step in controlling the pitch. If you are holding on to all of the boost, or at least a majority of it, you will undoubtedly have more options, because the beautiful thing about Rocket League, it's not like traditional soccer. You are not locked into just one plane of movement. You have a vertical element.
You can fly.
And if you can fly further and higher and more easily than your opposition, you're gonna win the game. It's how it works.
Pretty simple.
It's very simple. That's the amazing part about Rocket League. It is so simple. Do you have more of X than the other team? You win.
Does TSM have more than Dignitas, period, in game 4?
Oh, what a shot.
When blocked by Metanoris, barely another shot, and it's not saved. Astral will punch it in, and Dignitas take the lead.
Nice touch. Violent Panda getting in Metza's face, and Astral, that is an angle and a half, and I think that caught a lot of TSM off guard. Remco, I don't know. I can understand the panic trying to dive back there and shut down that angle, but I think he ended up taking it away, or at least a better opportunity for his teammate on the goal line.
Tough position for TSM, too, right off the kickoff, feeling that kind of shot.
Yeah.
Whip reset for Astral. Turned into a potential pass, but it was taken away by Remco. Violent Panda just trying to stop.
Oh, the demo in the net.
Well, Magnus couldn't keep that touch going. Metanoris following closely. Buy some time for TSM to get set.
And Metza was really thinking about going for that. And the only reason he didn't commit for that ball across the front is because he wasn't sure if Magnus was actually going to get that ball out cleanly. And he needs to be willing to wait just a little bit longer in that midfield, because he knows Remco went for the demo. And regardless of whether Remco gets it or not, you can't take that risk in case the pass doesn't come out clean.
Love that patience from Magnus on the play. VP had him beat, his car was turned, ended up putting himself in the best position to try to make a save on that play. Here's Metanoris shooting it right into Dignitas' net. We got a tie game.
Yeah, Sam get it right back. There's the demo in the corner. Gives him a free look at the touch off the ceiling. Make it a double tap off the back wall as well. And boy, did he just put on a clinic.
The old combo. Double touch off the ceiling.
Double touch off the wall.
Tie game.
He made it look easy. That's not a shot I would expect Metsanor to be the type of player to pull that off on the rig.
I just think about that one goal he had last season with the read off the ceiling that turned into a goal for him. But that was pretty much the only time he had put in a shot like that last season. He gets one in his first series of RLCS, Season 9. Metanoris, another shot. Remco picked up a demo on the back end. And a bump as well.
Yeah.
In front, Metanoris. It's taken away by Astral and Yukio. It's 2-on-1. Remco will buy time. However little it may be, actually wins the challenge. Metanoris picks up the demo as well. Love the sequence from TSM right now.
A lot of stolen boost. I mean, they've got at least 10 in this game. They've just owned that Dignitas corner.
Magnus gets another one too. But up high was Yukio off the ceiling. Magnus will take this one slow. And he will win that challenge against Astral. Very smartly played by Magnus again. I really think that Magnus has just been this rock for TSM in terms of passing the ball, winning 50s in midfield. I really think he's the great enabler achieves. And that shot is good for Yukio. Off the pass from Astral. Dignitas with the lead.
And that's Astral. That first touch was a little bit behind his teammates, but he goes and steals the corner boost, knows he has the opportunity to go out and give it a second try, and this time he puts it out in front for Yukio, and Yukio nails it.
All it takes is one pass for Dignitas, and they will always be looking for each other. As good as TSM have been playing, this is how much of a threat this team is, but that shot just not enough gumption. Astral catches this for Yukio.
Astral got bumped. It's got no boost as well.
Yeah, it's Magnus' ball off the ceiling. Forces the challenge. Metanoris has a shot, and it's blocked by Astral, keeping Dignitas' lead.
Great bit of placement from Metanoris. That's the right place in the net to shoot the ball, but wonderful recognition from Astral. Just dive across, get all the way there. That's a beautiful setup.
Metanoris keeps it close, but off the ceiling, he couldn't find another touch. Remco close behind, off the corner. Magnus is there. Magnus' shot is blocked by Violent Panda. Remco tries to cut in front. He's not there. Next up is Metanoris, and cleared away for Dignitas. No TSM. Grab the ball right back into the corner. Remco, nothing for him, but close behind was Magnus. Rotation for Metanoris to commit for TSM. Now Remco playing this closely. Astral flips it up high. He's got no more boost to chase, and it will be saved by Remco. So far, Dignitas have had to throw away a lot of TSM opportunities on their own end, and then they get onto the offensive half of the field. They get one pass out, and if they don't cause TSM to panic, it's headed the other way. Oh, Violent Panda wins the touch. Maybe a shot, but Yukio will play it close.
Yeah, that's a great steal from Violent Panda to try and keep the offense going, but that follow-up touch kind of just put a wrench in this push, and they actually all rotate back on the same side, and Yukio now just has to buy time. It's just a waste of boost.
Will be out for Violent Panda, but he's low on boost as well. Magnus pops this up, gonna make it uncomfortable for Astral. He'll lose that challenge. Astral secures his own boost, and Yukio will be on the point with about half in the tank, flipping over one. Class 2, Violent Panda right there, but he had to jump up for it quickly because Remco is on top of it. Pass to Magnus from Metz. It's just not on target and turned away.
Quick transition for TSM, wonderful counterattack, but you got to pull out the same thing with 15 seconds. Time ticks. Do you have it in you?
Astral carries this. Back in front of the box. Magnus wants to carry Metz. Pass over to Remco, cut off by Violent Panda. Now Magnus from his own corner.
Oh, Astral gave it up. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, my goodness.
He scores with 0 seconds remaining off that touch. Astral.
Boy, did I get baited. He just went up the field, and then I saw him turn out, and I was like, oh, he's going to give him the ball with the last moments, and he turned right back around, came off the ceiling, and just punched that into the goal. So fair play to you, Astral.
Fair play indeed. And Dignitas, a couple of opportunities. I mean, they got 9 shots by the end, but a lot of those started to come near the end when Dignitas finding those clears, those passes in front of the net, really the last minute or so of the game.
For Dignitas?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because early on it felt a bit of great pressure from TSM.
Yeah.
A lot of control on the opposite end with the boost steals, and there's that great takeaway from Astral on the side wall. I just saw, I realize now he's going back to grab that midfield boost and then turn around and challenge. Initially, it looked like he was just going to run away and give TSM a shot at it.
It was a fun one.
But that's a great turnaround, and that's a real punch in the mouth. And we're going to game 5 with that.
Violent Panda was also a nuisance in this game in particular. He had a lot of crucial steals in situations that would have been a potential 3-on-1 for TSM headed the other way. But him coming back on the rotation and just finding that touch, it was like watching Atomic yesterday on Ghost, where his team's rotating back and he's able to cut in front, give his team a chance to approach the ball before they have to defend something crazy off the back wall.
And it's how do you approach that midfield defense? You know, there's two schools of thought on it. It's you get real aggressive, you take the risky challenges, or you back off and you give up space because you would feel more comfortable allowing your team to get further back before you attempt to keep the offense going. And every team has their own approach to it. Neither one of them is correct. It's just there is a certain level of risk involved with either option. Some players are more aggressive, others allow the space for the other team to gain possession and will take their chances on defense. Violent Panda, he took the aggressive options there in the midfield and stopped a lot of dangerous counterattacks.
For the second series in a row, we're back on Champions Field and back to Violent Panda scoring goals.
It's a great start. Astral again, the ball control in the corner, a beautiful bit of control to keep that high and get it around the defender that was right in his face. And Violent Panda, excellent understanding to realize that ball was about to punch out right in front of him.
TSM having to pretty much fight with a handicap here early. Giving up that goal, but Remco almost makes it happen. Metanaris cut it a little too far. Did not expect that challenge to go that way.
He was so close to being in the right spot. You can't blame him for being out of position or anything. I mean, TSM knew they had a shot at the net. It was just the challenge went just wrong enough, and they can't equalize.
Violent Panda ready for that touch. And Dignitas, really, I don't feel like it's an effect of on that pass taken away again. I mean, they're able to play their game for the most part. They do well on defense against TSM. A lot of opportunities for TSM have been, you know, half chances, if you will. Them having to force things. Or Remco on that earlier shot about 30 seconds ago where he had to find the top of the net and ended up hitting the crossbar. TSM are playing a really solid game to match Dignitas' own. We don't think either team is playing poorly right now.
Pleasantly surprised, you know?
Very, very.
Because, again, I think a lot of people coming in here expecting Dignitas to just tear TSM apart.
I expected it.
And that has absolutely not been the case.
And I do go back, I look at Magnus. You come and you add this guy after you lose Alpha, one of the most prolific offensive players in the RLCS, and no one's going to give you a chance there. And Magnus comes in and he's throwing passes out left and right. And Remco has stepped up in such a big way today.
Got 0 shots last game, though. Remco didn't have a shot on target towards the net in the previous game.
That just goes to show the back and forth in this series. I mean, Dignitas right now have control and still looking for each other in space, but Remco will grab that.
Oh, Violent Panda, that was aggressive.
Oh, Remco, the pass, he wanted it to Mets. He won't find it. If Remco had hit that pass, it almost assuredly would have been a goal. Quick to Violent Panda, catch, and dribble into the net, slips under the defender. Dignitas pick up insurance.
Dignitas got out of a jam. Violent Panda double committed in the midfield, and then thankfully TSM wasn't able to convert the 2-on-1 chance in front of the goal because Metza just couldn't get a touch on the ball. Then Violent Panda picks it up in the midfield and wins the 1v1 back the other way. Dignitas was in a lot more trouble than it seemed there, and they turned it into a second goal.
There's the demo. Remco, and it's in. Magnus also being a nuisance in the net, and TSM come right back.
That aggression continuing as well for TSM. They got very physical in the previous match as well. Constantly trying to go for the demos. And this time it results in them cutting the lead in half, so they got half a game to tie it up. And honestly, I would not be surprised to see another overtime.
On the kickoff, it looked like Violent Panda might have had a look. Astral does, and it's taken away by Remco. Violent Panda will secure the boost. That'll make this a little awkward for Magnus, but he does clear it out. Ooh, midfield. Violent Panda gets that first touch, looking for a shot. It's not there. Nothing for TSM just yet here in midfield.
Great bit of challenging there from Astral, forcing TSM off the ball. And
another challenge. Oh, good save from Remco on the backboard. Got it out to the corner. But Astral picks up the ball and tried to find any sort of way past TSM.
A couple of big stops there from TSM, but now again it's Astral especially in this game, who's done a fantastic job beating TSM off the walls, getting the ball into the middle.
Astral has it again, this time low boost situation. Wanted to give his teammate a chance at the ball. Yukio does make a challenge, but it's Remco on point, taken away by Astral.
Interference.
So much of it on both
He's
sides.
ball chasing so hard. He really is. Astral is rotating back into the midfield, and if he can stop and cut rotation and get in someone's face, he's doing it.
And it's kept Dignitas out, but can they keep it going? They still have this 1-goal lead. Violent Panda back over to Yukio. Mets is there, keeping it close. Another clear for TSM, and then it's just this wonky challenge out to the corner. Magnus, that would just be a dump. He couldn't find the touch again. Beautiful. Violent Panda back to Astral. Cut off by Metanaris for now, but it's in front of the box, and that'll be a tough touch for Violent Panda to challenge, and Remco will take it away.
Nice read from Remco as well, and Violent Panda was able to get his hands on that. That was going right out into the middle. Here's another passing chance for Dignitas. Across the field, Violent Panda will turn it in again, and a 2-goal lead with 30 seconds might spell disaster.
This is exactly where Dignitas are so dangerous. Astral, he pops his car up so it hits off of his wheels, his undercarriage, so the touch is light enough to get it to Yukio and not overstretch it. Then Yukio puts it perfectly in front of Violent Panda, who secures another goal for Dignitas. This is part of what makes Dignitas so scary at the World Championship. Their ability to pass the ball, and it always starts with Astral, especially in this series.
It is being compounded by the fact that TSM constantly having to give away space in the midfield, because it's been an even go of things in terms of controlling those midfield boosts. And they finally, if it's not up, have to go all the way back, and it leaves the open space, and Astral will miss a chance to pad the stats.
That's okay. You got it. But TSM,
oh, we got it!
We'll pick it up, Magnus. That was a good read. You know, you won't win the series, but that's a nice send-off for the start of your season. Good pass, and then just...
Way to stay with that one.
Perfect.
Oh, mama. That's a goal and a half. Still wouldn't be enough to win, but it was good.
It's like, why couldn't we get more of those earlier?